This was the moment a young girl was rushed into the hospital. Per reports, she was deceased upon arrival. Investigators allege the events that led to this moment began well before the emergency room, and that the choices made during an interstate family trip would ultimately become the focus of their investigation.
You guys drove about 714 miles when she's in crisis. She's in DKA, multiple symptoms.
Or a series of decisions recklessly caused Tay's.
The victim had type 1 diabetes, meaning her body produces little or no insulin required to control her blood sugar. She wore an insulin pump designed to deliver that insulin continuously. Without enough insulin, blood sugar can rise rapidly and develop into a diabetic emergency, commonly known as DKA, a life-threatening condition that requires urgent medical care. As detectives pieced together what happened over the following days, they believed they had gathered enough evidence to establish probable cause, leading to the mother's arrest. To find out what exactly happened that day,
So I'm coming into this a little bit later into the investigation. Can you just tell me about what brought you to California or to Oregon from Washington?
We were going to Oregon to shop for new bed sets for my kids because it's cheaper. There's no taxes.
Yeah.
We figured that would be our best option to save a little money.
Mm-hmm.
Juan said that we can drive down to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
My mom told me that Oregon's the best place to go because they always have some kind of sale.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, we could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I ensured that if Tay ever got bad, that we would turn around. We would stop. And that's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't tell me she wasn't doing good until the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's A1C or DKA has never progressed like this, ever.
How are the kids like throughout the trip? I know sometimes they get antsy, when they're in the car.
They were excited.
They were excited? Tell me more about
From the
that.
time we got in the car.
Mhm.
Well, when we first got in the car, I did forget some of Tay's supplies. We had to stop, and I think we got almost to Tacoma, or we were past Federal Way a little bit. And I was like, oh, I forgot some things. We have to turn around.
Was that on the way down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mom was like, what'd you forget? I was like, I forgot Tay's refills for her insulin pump.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, why would you do that? I was like, well, I was in a rush. I'm sorry. I was like, but we have to turn around. We cannot go without it.
Mm-hmm.
So we turned around. We went in the house. Me and Tay got all her stuff she needed.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure she got everything she could possibly want.
Yeah.
We went on, started our trip over.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
We head out again.
Okay.
Tay's still alert. She's still happy. Everybody's excited.
Yeah. What are the symptoms of DKA? Like, what do they present as?
She starts to drink continuously water.
Mm-hmm.
She would guzzle it.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell that she looks dehydrated.
Yeah.
She wouldn't pee a lot.
Yeah.
She would throw up sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
a lot, and sometimes she wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you're pretty good at like gauging how she's feeling.
I tried to, yes.
Yeah. And so you said when you were going down Oregon halfway through, she started having symptoms?
Yes.
Where about was that? Do you know? Like when it comes to like, you said it was an 11-hour trip, about what time
It was
that?
11 hours coming back.
Oh, coming back, okay.
That's all I remember. I knew it was going to take 11 hours to get back, and we put Seattle in at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I seen her start really getting bad, I said, no, we're going to Tacoma. I then text my mom and let her know what was going on. My phone was going dead, so I ended up calling her to let her know. And she said that she would have a room set up, doctors were ready for her and everything.
So at what point did you say you checked her? I'm just trying to get a like kind of a timeline in my mind. So you said you checked her blood sugar, it was about 400, and you gave her insulin.
Yes.
Where were you? Were you in Oregon at that point? On your way down?
Yes.
Okay. And then she started saying she felt better, and then at the gas station,
Once we got to the gas station, I noticed.
the final gas station, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because she kept taking her pump in and out.
Uh-huh.
Nobody still understands why she would sit there and continuously take the pump and disconnect it, put it back in.
Mm-hmm.
There was no need for that.
Yeah. So you noticed that she was going into like DKA.
Yes.
And you said previously that when it's around 400, you have to take her in, right?
No, her ketones.
Her ketones, yeah.
Her sugar, if it continuously reads high
Yeah.
and it's not coming down, then yes, we need to take her in.
Okay.
Because then that means that I can't control her ketones no more.
Okay. So she was around 400 and you just kept going south?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I thought she was getting better.
Okay.
I didn't know she was taking her pump out.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister told me she caught her taking it out.
Mm-hmm.
She put it back in.
Yeah.
So her sister was my eyes when I couldn't be the eyes.
Okay. So tell me about the trip back.
On the way back, I told Ron that we need to turn around.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Is everything okay?" I said, "No, Tay's not doing good. She's in and out. I need to get her back." He said, "Okay." We turn around. He floors it. I don't even know how we didn't get pulled over the way he was driving.
Mm-hmm.
Once we got to one of the military bases, we got stuck in the worst traffic.
Mm-hmm.
I went into panic mode. I don't know how many times I tried to give her insulin, but I kept getting on my phone. I kept trying to put the insulin in her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much insulin she really got because of her taking it out and putting it in. So I can't tell you guys for sure she got the insulin she needed. I can't guarantee that. There's no fixing that. So anytime I caught it out, I make her put it back in. I try to redispense the insulin. The pump won't let me do the insulin as much as I wanted to.
And how did she look at that time? Like,
She looked at normal. She didn't look like she was turning pale or anything.
was she talking?
On the way back, she was.
Okay.
It was once we got in that traffic is when she got really, really bad.
Okay.
And then she started talking weird ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I can't say the word. Lethargic.
Yeah. So like kind of like groggy and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
And she kept saying she's tired. I'm like, okay, just sit back, relax yourself,
Mm-hmm.
rest. Gave her some water.
Mm-hmm.
She took the water.
If you're, say we're back in Kirkland and she was in DKA, what would be the first thing you would do?
I would jump in my car and take her to the Seattle Children's.
Okay. Why didn't you stop at any other hospital?
Because I didn't know any other hospital. I didn't know if they would take my insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know any places that was good for a diabetic, especially a child.
Yeah.
I don't know where all the children's hospitals are.
But if you use
I wasn't
yeah.
thinking to Google it either.
Yeah. Why not?
Because I've always been raised to go where I think is safe. I have tunnel vision. My main goal was just to get her where I know she's going to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought in a million years this would ever happen. Ever.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump back a little bit about the furniture that you purchased or wanted to purchase.
Right.
Yeah. You said it was a bed.
We were trying to get beds.
Beds too.
Yes.
Okay. How much is gas now usually?
It depends around like $4.50 a gallon.
Okay. Do you think like you really saved any money by driving?
Juan paid for the gas. I had money for the beds.
Okay.
So I was saving money.
Okay.
I don't know about Juan because I don't check his bank accounts and stuff. We don't share information like that.
You can see how that's kind of a confusing decision, right? To drive all the way down to the Oregon border to buy 2 beds, which you could easily get at Walmart for, what, maybe $100? Yeah. So explain that to me a little bit more.
Like I said, Oregon has no taxes.
Yeah. But the taxes aren't going to be that much on 2 bed frames.
Right. We were just trying to make an eventful little road trip to get the girls out
Okay, so now it's
and
about
go
the-
shopping.
Okay. Okay.
We weren't doing it because we could have got it way cheaper down there. We're just,
Okay.
it saved a little money. Didn't save a lot, but
Yeah.
it saved a little money.
Yeah.
After listening to the suspect's account, detectives shift the interview in a different direction. Instead of asking what happened, they begin presenting the evidence they had already collected. testing whether each part of her statement could be supported by the facts uncovered during their investigation.
Were you on the 16th, right? So the day before you guys left, were you at home that day? Were you at work?
Yeah.
You were home that day?
When did I take No, I think I did work on 16th.
On the 16th?
Yes.
Okay. So when I pulled the numbers from Tandem, pretty much starting at like 9:50 in the morning, her blood sugar never dropped below 350.
That's what I was trying to get it to do.
But it never dropped below 350.
No.
350 is high.
Because Tay, like I told you, Tay is the one to sneak into snacks.
I get that, but so before you guys left, her blood sugar it was reading high almost the entire time, and then it dropped like down to like 350, and then pretty much all day on the 17th, all day on the 18th, it was over 400.
Right.
Okay.
When we left, and I seen her sugar going down from when I corrected that morning, I asked her, "Are you okay? Do you feel good enough to go?" There was always that option to leave her with my sister. Never, ever have my sister tell me, "No, I can't leave her there."
Yeah.
If Tay wasn't feeling good, or she felt like she didn't feel safe enough to go somewhere, my sister's house is where she goes.
Yeah, I understand. But look, what kid's gonna want to miss out on a trip that you guys never, like you said, this is the
Right.
first time, so
She was
probably
excited.
and she's probably gonna say no matter how she felt that she wanted
As
to
long as
go.
she was up running around and she's being herself, I didn't have any worries.
But you had previously said if it went over 400, you would take her to the hospital.
If her sugar stayed over 400,
Yeah.
because of the meter,
Yeah.
yes, I would.
Mhm.
But I have to check her ketones to make sure her ketones was above 3.
Did you check her ketones on the 16th or the 17th?
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Okay.
don't remember.
But I'm saying, like, I have all the data from
I understand
Tandem,
that.
which has all the Dexcom data on it as well.
Right.
And so for the entire day of this, like, all day on the 16th, she's over 400 for the most part, other than one dip, a very short amount of time where she dipped below 400, which was 350, which is still sky high. And then she hit.
It's not sky high, but you're right. It is high.
So, like, all the research that I've done on
I
this,
thought it was gonna go down.
it pretty much says that if you're over 250
Mhm.
with multiple signs of DKA, you're supposed to receive.
But she didn't have multiple signs of DK.
She threw up.
She didn't confess to that until we were already in Oregon.
Okay.
Her sister even told me
But
that.
then why not turn around right then and there in Oregon when she said that? Because you already have sky high blood sugar.
When I looked at her meter, it wasn't 400. It was 350 something. When the last time I looked at her meter and when she was okay,
It was legitimately all the stuff on the Dexcom.
right.
400, 401, so it was flashing high. It was all, on the 17th, it was all maxed out at 401, which is the high alert, because it doesn't read above 400. Once it hits 401, all you get is a high alert on
It
the
wasn't
meter.
like that when we left.
Okay, but then all day driving down to Oregon, it was reading high, because they have all those numbers.
I understand that.
Okay, and so the whole day it's high. Well, like, you can't even tell what it is because it's so high.
Right. So, but me and Tay, we communicate. I try to trust my daughter in telling me that she's okay. She's the only one that can tell when her sugar's dropping. I went to sleep probably about halfway through Oregon, till it was my turn to drive, which was at night. I didn't check on Tay, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't check on her when I started driving. It wasn't until we got to that gas station is when I actually really looked at her, asked her, talked to her about it. She said she wasn't feeling good. She wasn't walking well. I said, "No, Tay." I said, "You've been lying, or you've been doing something. I don't know what it is, but this can't happen again. We're gonna get you to the hospital. We're going home." She said, "Okay, fine." Even though I want to go, I said, "Tay, there is no more shopping. There's no more fun. We're not doing this. We're going home." We turned around. That's when I'm continuously trying to keep up on her sugar, to get it down.
But you can also pull all those numbers on your phone. You can go back and see that she's been pretty much high all day. over 400, and it stops reading at 400, so she could be 500, 600,
Right.
700,
When she's poking her finger,
and the meter reads high, and those max out at 500.
right. I only know of a couple of times that she showed me the numbers. Her sister claims that she was helping her. So I don't know.
But you're also talking about a 10 and a 12-year-old.
A tw-
I have kids that are the same age, and a 10 and 12-year-old can't be responsible.
Nobody said she was.
But you're
I'm trusting them.
But at a certain point, when you have the information on your phone and it's flashing high,
Right.
you need to make a parental decision and override what the kids are doing, because, right? If it's at 401, you know it's at least 400, if not 5, and then if it's on the manual meter, if it says high, those max out at like 500, 550, depending on what company it is,
Right.
right? So her blood sugar is well over where it should be,
Right.
well over. And so,
When-
like, I don't understand.
When I went to sleep, I was convinced Tay was fine. Tay told me her sugar was going down. I said, okay. I fell asleep. When I woke up is when she started telling me, hey, I don't know if this is working.
We're on the board.
I said, okay.
And then, so she
We're gonna.
said,
I told her we're gonna stop.
Yeah.
We stopped.
Mhm.
I said, we all need to use the bathroom. I asked the 12-year-old, do you need to use the bathroom? She said, no. I said, okay. I need to use the bathroom. I'm gonna take Tay.
Mhm.
She probably needs to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Tay sat down on the toilet and she just looked at me. And she was like, I don't have to pee. I was like, okay, that's fine. And if you tried, you tried. I made my decision when we made that last stop after me driving.
But
Yeah.
the thing was, is that she was
If
high.
I'm asleep, I
From-
can't.
From the 16th, she was at 401. From the 16th, before you left, her blood sugar was over 400 before you left. All day on the 17th, it was over 400. All day on the 18th, it was over 400.
All day on the 18th, yeah, because we were driving back.
And the 17th,
The 17th, I don't know how it was over 400 the whole day.
It
when
was.
she dropped to 350 something.
that was on the 16th.
No.
Yeah,
On the-
I have like a 5-page spreadsheet in 5-minute increments of all of her blood sugar for that day,
When I checked her sugar myself, it said 358, I believe.
which is still too high.
I understand that. But when I give her insulin, it's supposed to go down. I can't control her from taking that pump out and making her
And I
sugar go
understand that,
high.
and that's why you have the manual injectable one. So when the
Which
pump
I did
does-
not take
which the
because I did
pump-
not think I needed
When
it.
the pump doesn't work, that's what that's all. Like, so when Tandem does all the training that goes through children's,
Even
right?
then, so the pump is
You're supposed to
designed to
have-
dispense insulin too.
Yeah, what happens if the pump breaks? The battery dies.
The battery wouldn't have died because we had a charger.
Okay, batteries malfunction. Cell phone.
I
batteries
don't
and
know that
stuff.
about Tandem.
Okay, but I'm just saying in general, if you're going on a multi-day trip, wouldn't you take absolutely everything with you, which includes a manual injectable insulin, in case the pump breaks, it dies. You run out of the cannulas because she keeps pulling them out. They break, something like that. There's
I
no.
brought one extra cannulus.
Okay. Did you use that one at any point?
No, because we brought it because her insulin was supposed to be going low. And I said, okay, we need another one just in case it gets too low. Her sugar was always out of whack because she's always getting into somebody's snacks or she's taking her pump off. I can't control her doing that.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to,
And
I
understand-
can't.
Yeah, she had chronic. I mean, like based off of the school records, like right, because they check her blood sugar when she gets to the
Yes.
school, right? I looked through all that stuff, so I saw that she comes to school with high blood sugar quite a bit.
And when
Right.
she's too high, I don't take her in because they won't take her.
Yeah.
So I keep her at home until it goes down.
Yep.
There's been times where I had to come to school and pick her up after being there after lunch.
Yep, I saw that as well. Like the thing. It's like we're reading all this stuff. It's like there's just at some point you got to take her to the hospital. That's what I don't get. And when you hit Washington, you could have stopped somewhere in Washington because you're in Washington. like when you're in traffic by McCord Air Force Base, 911, and you could have gotten an ambulance there, and then they could have circumvented traffic to get to Tacoma General from all that, right? It's like,
So I understand what you're saying. I'm not going to sit here and play around with it. I understand what you're saying. But my main thing was to get her where I knew where to go. That's why I contacted my mom and asked her if she can help me contact Mary Bridge to get the people set up that I need to. My daughter was not that bad before we hit traffic. Because once we hit traffic and started going through traffic, she stopped talking to us. She would just nod her head. She would say crazy things. I'm like, no, this is not good. We have to rush. I don't know how we're going to get through this traffic, but we have to hurry up. I didn't think to call anybody else. That was my mistake, granted.
yeah, I mean, 'cause
But I wasn't intentionally trying to harm my daughter. I wasn't intentionally trying to cause her to.
I know that.
So you said it took a couple hours because you were at the border of Washington.
What it felt like to me was a couple hours.
Oh, it
I
is
don't know exactly how long it took.
It's a few hours from the border of Washington. I mean, that's a far way to go, right?
2.5 hours from
And-
Oregon to Tacoma. From Portland to Tacoma is like 2.5 hours
Yeah, around 2.5
without
hours.
traffic.
Yeah, and you admittedly said she was really bad at that point, right? She's not talking to you.
Once we got closer to the base, the military base, whichever that first base
Mhm.
is when she stopped talking to me.
Okay.
She was talking to me going through Portland and stuff. Wasn't many words, but she was talking.
You knew she was in a diabetic emergency at that point, right?
Yes, this
Yeah.
is why I contacted my mom.
So I'm gonna give you
That
a
was
hypothetical.
3 hours before, based on the text messages, that you started contacting your mom. That's 3 hours.
And when I talked to her on the phone, I told her, I said, I don't know where I'm at right now. I just know we're trying to get through. We're in Washington.
But you recognized 3 hours prior that she was bad and in DKA, based off the text messages between you and your mom.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know how long that process was. But you have the information.
Yeah, I do.
I don't remember.
And I'm telling you that it was 3
Okay.
hours. So you said you were almost to, you recognized, you said we're almost to Washington. This took longer than we knew.
It's taking longer than I
yeah.
thought it would.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's prior to you hitting Washington. And so that was an additional 3 hours until you showed up at Tacoma General.
Okay, I don't know.
And past multiple hospitals, the diabetes is a very common thing, and any single emergency room can handle DKA, you can handle diabetes.
If Juan was having a heart attack midway on your trip, what would you have done? Would you have driven 11 hours to take him to the hospital that you knew, or would you
No,
have taken
because
him
it's
to
a heart attack.
An emergency is an emergency, right?
I understand that.
Yeah.
But
Do you trust the
what-
doctor to treat your child, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you know it's in a medical emergency, why didn't you trust the chance of going to a hospital?
I never thought she would get that bad.
But you admitted she got bad, and
Yes.
you still chose to continue driving rather than stopping at any local hospital.
I'm in panic mode. I don't.
What about Juan? What was he doing? What was he thinking?
He was driving. I don't know what he was thinking.
You're not having a conversation with him? Well, what should we do? I'm worried. What do you think we should do? There's not that conversation going on?
He did not bother to even say anything to me because I'm literally panicking. I'm having a panic attack. I'm trying to breathe because I don't know what's going on with my daughter 100%. I'm trying to make sense of why she's even lethargic because it doesn't, in 24 hours, that's never happened. Ever.
It's because she started on the 16th. It was over 24 hours. That's
Okay.
why.
But I didn't know that.
72 hours.
I didn't know that. Because Tay's up, she's playing, she's flipping through the house.
All the information's on your phone about how high her blood sugar is.
And I don't always check my phone. I usually just grab her machine and
It's
correct
on
it from there.
But the history of how high she was and all that is on those two devices. It's readily available right there. You can scan through it. It shows It shows meters, how high it goes. It's flashing high on you, so you know it's above 400.
Right, and I try to correct that.
But if it's not, but then like the thing I don't get is if it's not correcting or it drops down to 350, one time for like 20 minutes it's at 350, and then it starts going back up, and then you choose to still go on the trip. Makes zero sense to me.
I understand.
Because it's like, at what point is, I mean, I don't get, it's not like it was like, oh, it went down, it's now between, right, because blood sugar is supposed to be between 75 and 120.
Right.
She never dropped below 200, 250. She never dropped below 300. And yet you're going on a 13-hour car ride, and obviously the insulin's not working at that point either, right? Before you left, it's not working properly because she never dropped to a normal, even close to a normal range. And then you keep going, and then now she's over 400. You keep going, still over 400. You're slamming the button, getting more insulin in her. It's not working. You're still going south, and then you turn back around at some point when she gets pretty much critical, and then drive past 31 hospitals along your way. You don't call 911. 31 24-hour facilities that have emergency rooms from where you guys last cell phone hit until Tacoma General. 31 24-hour hospitals within 5 miles. The closest one was 0.4 miles from the hospital, or 4 miles from I-5, along your route that you drove past, that you could have stopped at.
I didn't know that.
There's signs. The big H on the side of the road, that's a hospital sign.
Okay.
That's part of driver's ed,
Right.
right? And so you drove past all those, and you can get off there and fall. That's why they do that, is so when there's an emergency.
Signs. I was not.
To a certain, you gotta be kidding me a little bit.
I'm not.
I mean, seriously. 700. You guys drove about 714 miles when she's in crisis. She's in DKA, multiple symptoms, right? Just based off of everyone I've talked to, she was showing multiple symptoms that you're well aware of, and you're still just putzing along, not taking your daughter to any hospital, not calling 911, not doing any type of intervention. You're just trying to slam insulin that's not working through the pump. Didn't bother to change out the cannulas to give her more insulin.
I didn't think changing out the cannulas was.
There's just, what? There was nothing. Nothing was tried. You're letting a 10 and a 12-year-old check her blood sugar that's over 500. You're not sitting in the back seat with her to make sure she's not pulling the pump out to make sure it's working. Put your 12-year-old daughter in the front seat because.
I'm able to see her.
But you say she's pulling it out, and your daughter's telling you. Why not sit next to her so you can control what's going on?
I didn't think about doing that either.
But you chose, when you knew she had high blood sugar, to drive, and you admittedly told us you did not check on her, right?
No, I didn't tell you.
Yeah, while you were driving, you said you.
While I was driving, how am I going to check on her if I'm in the driver's
Why
seat?
did you choose to drive if you know your daughter is having a medical emergency? If she's in crisis and you know she's in a medical crisis, why didn't you?
I did not know at the time she was in a serious medical crisis.
You told us.
When I got in that front seat because everybody was asleep in the back, I let them sleep.
Within a 5-minute Google search, I could tell you what to do when someone's in DKA, and you can see the signs within 5 minutes. Like, I didn't know barely anything about diabetes until I started this case. Within just Google searching, and you Google searched a lot of stuff that would tell you this is a life-threatening emergency, get emergency medical help. All those Google searches you did about like DKA, right? I have all that. The AI generated thing on your Apple iPhone says medical emergency, get help, right? Go to a medical emergency facility, right? Call it. It was right there. So you can't go this, I didn't think about it, because you're Googling stuff because you're thinking about it, and the information is right there telling you what to do.
So you're telling me I Googled this stuff while I was on the road?
Yep.
I don't remember doing that.
100%. I'll tell you exactly what you Googled here. So, on the 17th, can a type 1 diabetic go DKA from the heat? Right, so this is all on the 17th at different times. How to help my ketones go down faster. That's on the 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon. So that's supposedly when you were still in Washington. So therefore, she had high ketones when you guys left
Before-
Washington.
No,
on the
before we
17th.
left Washington, if I did, it was just to make sure.
Okay.
Because I knew we were going into heat.
And then, so because you're going to California, because you also
We weren't going to California.
Do you have to drive up a mountain to get to California? Why would you Google that if you're not going to California?
Because my sister told me,
Okay. And then on the 17th as well, how to help my ketones go down faster. And that's at just before 3 in the afternoon. How to make a type 1 diabetic blood glucose levels go down. That's on the 18th at 1 in the morning. So that's about, right, that's an hour before you guys decided to turn around. Because you guys turned around on the 18th,
what time did we turn around?
2:30.
It was 2:30 in the
It was
morning?
2:30 in the morning when your cell phone started heading back up north.
Okay,
So that was at
I didn't even know that.
Okay, well, I get that, but I'm telling you, you turned around at 2:30. So it took you almost 12 hours because you got to Tacoma General at 1:38 in the afternoon.
When the
so,
GPS said it was going to take 11 hours just to get to Seattle Children's.
Yeah, so, but it took you that long to get to Tacoma General. Okay, and then you're Googling other stuff on the 18th about what to eat to make your blood sugar go down, what to eat to make your A1C go down. Then you're Googling airline tickets, what to do if I'm going into DKA. That's at 2:30 in the morning on this 18th.
That's when Juan started driving.
Yeah. Well, you're Googling at 1:40 is the earliest one. So then it's like, what do you do if I'm going into DKA, right? Can you get yourself out of DKA? If you Google the first one, what to do if I'm going to DKA, it tells you to get emergency medical help right then and there. All these cheap airline tickets, it tells you to get help.
Right.
Right on the front of the screen of your cell phone, it says to get help. And then when I first talked to you on, what was it, the 23rd, 24th, the day that I came and talked to you at your apartment, you told me that you didn't get help because of the parenting plan, because you were worried about what would happen to you.
That is part of the reason.
Okay.
I didn't want to take chances of him finding out we were gone because he didn't never give me consent, but he never would talk to me.
You
And
understand?
then I didn't know if they would take my medical because I don't know how Washington medical goes. I don't know how any other medical.
Why not call your medical insurance and ask while you're driving for 12 hours? Call them. Hey, this is going on. Where do I go? What do I do? Do you cover this area? It's a simple phone call. I mean, you can Google all this stuff, call your mom to have them get a bed ready while you're 3-4 hours away.
I didn't know I was 3 or 4 hours away.
You're kind of splitting hairs on that. You're hours out and you drive past. In Vancouver, there's like 6 hospitals right in Vancouver. Right in Vancouver.
I
And you're
didn't know
in,
that.
you have a phone, you can Google all this other stuff, but you can't Google hospital Vancouver, Washington, and then, oh look, send a phone, and it pulls it up on your GPS and you can drive right there. You gotta take some responsibility for this because it's all, I had to deal with this. Bullshit. Bullshit. Come on. She was over 400. They say if it's over 250 for an extended period of time, to get help, to go get medical help. She was over 300, over 350 before you left on the trip. Before you left on the trip. 250 is medical help for a sustained amount of time with signs of DKA. And she's at 350. Where's the responsibility?
I didn't know she was even in DKA. I'm not lying about that.
You have, but okay, then you're just not paying attention. You have it on your phone. It's all right there at the tips of your finger. You can pull up all that information and look at it on the pump or on your cell phone. It's all right there, and it's flashing high because I know how it works. It gives you an alert on your phone when it goes to high. It'll sit there and you'll get a push notification on your phone that says from whatever Tandem Dexcom high, and then you look at
Her pump was not designed on my phone to give me alerts because it was.
Yes, it is.
It was not. The app had to be open, and my Bluetooth had to be on.
Yeah. So do you not have your Bluetooth on and you have the app open when you're in your house?
When I'm at home, no, because I'm right there. I can easily call her and tell her to come here. There's been several times I didn't have my Bluetooth on.
Why? Well, why? Why not have the information there so when
And
it
if she's
starts to
not-
go high, you can intervene before it gets critical. Yeah, any day.
Say she's in her room.
Okay.
I'm in my room. My phone won't reach it. I don't know why, but it didn't reach it. So if my phone don't reach the Dexcom or that insulin pump, I don't know what's going on with it. I literally have to get out of my bed and go in her room to check on her. If she's asleep, I have to pull my phone up. I have to wait till it connects. I have no control over that.
The Bluetooth on Apple iPhones, even if you turn it off, it automatically turns it back on. That's built into the programming of those phones.
Not on my phone.
You have a newer phone than I have, and
On that 13?
yeah, and yeah.
No.
It's a system. It doesn't make a difference if it's a 13 to 10 to 12. If you have the operating system that you have on your phone is designed to turn it back on, and they do that because it communicates with
My
other Apple-
Wi-Fi, yes. But my Bluetooth, no, it never turns itself back on.
So you claim you didn't know she was in DKA, but the Google searches, you obviously knew.
I Google searched those things before we left, just in case.
No,
because
they're not. They're
those
date
are-
and time stamped on the 17th and the 18th when you're driving.
While we're driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, because her sugar was going up. And then when I got it to
Her
go
sugar-
down,
her sugar never went down on the 17th.
when it reached 350 something,
That was the 16th. That's before you left. The 17th, it was high the whole day.
no.
So the
Okay, so here you go. This is based, so on the 16th, right, starting at 1:50 in the morning, it was 122 while she was asleep. And then it stayed below 200 until 9 in the morning, 9:11 in the morning. Then it began to steadily rise to 401. So at 9:56 on the 16th, it hit 401. This is per Tandem's records, okay? And then the 401 triggers the high alert, all right, on your phone. So then, right, it goes in 5-minute increments. So from when it hit 401 on the 16th, from 9:56 in the morning until midnight 16 on the 17th, it was 401. Then just after midnight, it went to 397. And then it goes from 397 to 401, and then it goes to a low, this is the lowest it got in those 3 days, 352, and that was that. 1:52 in the morning, and then from 1:50,
On what day?
that was on the 17th. So 1:52 would be the 18th.
The 18th.
Okay, the 18th, at 1:52 on the 18th.
She got to what?
352, and then
Right.
at 1:52, it stays at 400 until the last reading at 12:51 on the 18th.
As
So she never dropped below 350, which is supposed to be medical intervention for
as
days.
with Tete, the way I've always done it, as long as I seen her sugar making an attempt to go down, I never thought she would. It would
50
never.
50 points is not going down. 50 is not going down, especially when then it just shoots right back up.
She never goes into DKA until she's over 400.
Which she
Granted,
was.
but I understand that. But when I noticed her sugar going down, I'm like, okay, this can't be DKA. But we're still trying to get her to where she needs to go. It's not like,
But why? Like I said,
I never thought it would get this far, ever.
but it didn't have to if you would have stopped at a hospital, one of the 31 you passed along the way. Would she be alive today
She
if you
would.
didn't? If you would have?
If I would have used my brain, yes.
And not worried about if you're going to get in trouble on a civil parenting plan order. That's all it is, a civil parenting plan. If you would have filed that, we don't get involved in parenting plan disputes. It would have been, Antonio would have had to file a thing through the court or just argue with you about it. That's it. That's the worst thing that could have happened.
You know, the worst thing could have happened is that man could have tried to do something to me. I've been scared of that man since my daughter's been born.
So let's look at the totality of everything, right? All the little indicators that she was going into DKA, the high blood sugar, her symptoms, the long trip, right? What would you have done differently to have prevented this outcome?
I would have not left and stayed up here so that I can get her to where she needs to go.
And you're on the trip, what would you have done differently if you had noticed she was...
Had I ever thought this could happen, then yeah, I probably would have stopped at a hospital and took my chances. But like I said, I've been scared of her dad for a long time. Her dad is not the nicest person in the world.
Okay.
From day one when she was born, I was told to get an abortion. When I actually gave birth to her.
So if you were scared of her dad, then why did you take her?
What do you mean, why did I take her?
Why'd you go to state with her? If you're so scared of him, then taking her out of state and risking it, knowing that he could find out, but you're so scared of him, but you still choose a decision that could put yourself in danger now because he's so dangerous, because you took her out of state and he finds out about that. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
There's a lot of decisions that you made that aren't making sense to us, right? What would a reasonable person do if their child was having a medical emergency? If it was your sister taking Tay to Oregon, what would you have expected her to do? Take her to a hospital, right?
Yeah.
As soon as possible.
Because that's a reasonable, because you want your child to get medical attention, right? But you didn't do that. So don't you think that your series of decisions recklessly caused Tay's
It did. Because I made the wrong calls. Because I didn't think it would ever happen. Not in a million years have they ever got that bad. Not once have I ever thought my daughter could.
But she did.
She did. You're right. And I live with that every day. Every day I have to look at her urn. Every day that she comes to my house, my doors open and close by themselves. My ring goes off 100 times a day.
This is your opportunity.
And there's nobody there.
It's your opportunity.
Her dog sits there and cries at night. I have to comfort her dog.
Yeah. I'm not saying you didn't want Tay, right? But your decisions caused Tay's. You just said it yourself, right? This is your opportunity to take responsibility for all those bad choices that led to this outcome.
I never wanted that to my baby. I don't even have nothing to do with my life now. I have nobody to take care of like that. I don't have nobody to argue with about making sure she gets medicine every day. I have a K Corso I can't even get rid of. Because it's like getting rid of my daughter. The dog was designed for her diabetes. Even though I couldn't afford the diabetic alert classes, I still trained her myself. YouTube videos and everything.
If Tay was right here right now, what would you tell her?
I'm sorry. I love her. I would do everything different. I don't know what she's doing.
By this point, detectives sensed the interview was reaching a turning point. With emotions beginning to surface, they pressed harder, carefully challenging her account and looking for answers to the questions that still remained.
I cry every night. It's like I feel like I have no more tears. As much as I want to. I had to get a new job. Because my job's telling all of Kirkland what happened. That my daughter died. I can't comfortably go to work no more. I had to change my whole scenery. So that I can at least be comfortable in the daytime.
Yeah. I understand that grief is hard. But what happened to Tay didn't have to happen.
I never thought it would have happened.
But you seem intelligent, okay? You obviously
I'm
knew
not
what
that
to,
intelligent.
well, you knew what to Google. You knew what to look for. You had been trained. You had taken her to the hospital before. You even admitted that it was reckless what you did?
Now that I think about it, yes. At the time, I wasn't thinking.
Tay deserves the truth, right? So this is your opportunity. Anything that you weren't truthful about to tell us now. Tay deserves that. You know that.
I don't know what more truth you're looking for.
Is there anything that you weren't truthful about? Like why you were driving down to California?
Well, I wanted to see his mom for her birthday. We were gonna make a stop to her, say happy birthday, turn around, go to Portland, go shopping. We were trying to do it all in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it would have had been 2 days because of the simple fact that going all the way down
Mm-hmm.
to California and then going to Portland to get back to Washington.
Yeah.
You can't do all that in 24 hours. Tay was excited to just sightsee.
Mm-hmm.
The kids didn't even know where we were going.
Mm-hmm.
The kids thought we were going to Oregon.
Yeah.
That's what we told them.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew we were even going to go see Juan's mom.
Yeah.
Not even his family.
Mm-hmm.
We never made it that far because I had to make the call to turn around.
Yeah.
Juan don't know about diabetes. Just me.
Mm-hmm.
With Tay's DKA getting really bad
Mm-hmm.
after 24 hours, I thought I had enough time to make it to the hospital. Ever since she's had that pump, nothing's been going the way I wanted to. Had she been on her insulin and her Lantus, things would probably be different. But she can't take both with the pump. I wasn't trying to intentionally hurt my daughter. I never wanted this to happen. No parent ever wanted. I can't speak for everybody, so I've seen some crazy things online. But a normal parent who truly loves their kids never want them to get hurt. I've always been out to make sure my kids are safe. That's why I never forced Tay to go to her dad when she didn't feel safe. For him to think that I held my daughter against her will is ridiculously insane. My kids are my world. I would never intentionally do anything to hurt my kids. Yes, I made bad calls because I wasn't in my right mind. I wasn't thinking. But do I really have to be punished because I made bad calls? When you have other people out there physically taking their kids, killing them, putting them in freezers, hiding them in basements, making it look like somebody kidnapped them, and it was them themselves. There are far worse, more people out there than me.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought my daughter would die. Never thought her brain would swell, because that part was not explained to me.
Yeah, but she was also in an emergency, and you knew that, and you chose not to get her care.
It's not that I chose not to.
You chose not to. You can't.
I didn't think to stop somewhere closer.
You drove for 12 hours. There's no justification to that. There's not. I'm sorry, but there's not. There's multiple places. There's 911 on your phone, and then they can take her to the closest hospital if you don't know where to stop. Everyone knows that.
I was not in my right mind. I was
Your
thinking,
12-year-old daughter told you that Tay needed to go to the hospital.
no, my 12-year-old daughter never said she needed to go to the hospital.
That's what she said to the interviewer, was that she saw that Tay was in a bad place and said,
I
Mom,
swear, my daughter's never told me that.
well, that's what she said. She recognized that her sister was in crisis and needed emergency help.
When I
recognized it.
asked Sadaria, while I was driving, I said, is Tay okay? What is Tay doing? She said, oh, Tay's sleeping. I said, are you sure? She said, yes. I said, wake her up. She wake her up. Tay responds to me. I've never, ever have I heard her say that.
Okay, but that's what she told us.
Okay, I understand that. But I never told her that.
But like also,
I've never heard her say that.
severe fatigue is a sign of DKA.
She wasn't fatigued.
She's sleeping all the time. Even Sadaria said she wasn't talking.
She was talking. Even when my sister was on the phone with me, she was
At
talking.
what point in the 12?
I don't know at what point.
You even said you made the decision to turn around because she wasn't going to the bathroom, right? That's
Right.
a sign of DKA. You knew she was in DKA.
That's when
You are
I
the
realized
parent.
how bad it
You
was.
are the parent that was knowledgeable in diabetes. Juan, you said doesn't know. You have children in the back. Who is responsible?
I am responsible.
You are right? You're the parent.
Yes.
It's your responsibility to care for your kids. It was your responsibility to take care of Tay.
And then you even said that Juan was driving so fast you don't know how he got stopped. So then you're putting your other two kids' lives in danger because he's driving at a higher rate of speed than he
He
needs.
was driving at least 70 miles per hour that I can see.
Come on.
That is fast to me. Because the speed limit's 60.
No, it's in certain parts of California it's 70. In a large majority of that trip, in the rural areas, I just drove it a little while ago. It's 70.
70?
Yeah, in a large chunk of it. Through Oregon, it's 65, 70. Through California, it's all 7. It doesn't.
Like I said, I've never drove outside the country. I never drove outside the states until then. I always known the speed limit to be 60.
And that's semantics, right? Like that's just a small detail of this entire 72-hour period in which you, the responsible adult, knew she was having high blood sugar that never dropped below 350.
And as long as she was responding, she wasn't that
and you
bad.
said that if she was at 400 and you were up where like Kirkland,
As long as the meter
Yeah.
said that.
and you would take her to the hospital,
Yes.
your responsibility was to take care of Tay.
Yes.
You can't put that on anybody else in the car.
I'm not trying to.
Tay deserves for you to take responsibility what happened to her. Right?
Following the investigation, Lloydina Shnia McAllister was charged with first-degree manslaughter in connection with the death of her daughter Tayleona. The charge stems from investigators' allegation that her actions amounted to criminal negligence. It is important to note that this case remains active in court. These are allegations, and Ms. McAllister is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
Right now you're being arrested for.
Excuse me?
Hello?
Jessica, I didn't do whatever they're talking about.
Right now.